Hello, David. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the world?
Thanks, David Neary, General Manager of Distribution by Air in Atlanta, Georgia.
All righty. And so what does distribution by air do?
So we're a freight forwarder, global freight forwarder. So we move product all around the world, kind of specialize in floor covering, trade shows, and asset recoveries.
Got it. And is there something that makes your company stand out from competitors in the industry?
Well, we think so anyway. It may be our own thought, but we're very good at communicating. You know, I have worked in companies before where they weren't as outgoing with communication as we are. We tell the good, the bad, the ugly. We're very responsive. Customers' feedback to that is they feel like they can give it to DBA and not have to worry again. And they come in the morning and all their updates are in their inbox. They know where everything is, or they got a call saying, got a problem, and this is what we're doing to fix it.
Mm. Is there a particular niche or market that is a typical customer fit for your business?
Typically, it's those shipments that have special needs, like in the floor covering, the trade show industry, and asset recovery. Each one of those have special needs at one end or the other. So that's where we excel.
Got it. Got it. What was your purpose for purchasing the Speed to Quote platform for your business?
Well, we were really looking for a tool that could help us quickly get information to the customer, be able to put our rates in and be able to turn a quote back to the customer quickly and a home for that data so that we could keep up with what we quoted, how we quoted. As we all know, at the end of the day, quotes are not a depositable, profitable part. You got to win the shipment. So, being able to go back and reconcile that data and see where you needed to be to win was very helpful.
Got it. Got it. And so outside of, my good looks, what was the reason you decided to move forward with S2Q Systems?
After having conversations with you, it's our belief that we're like-minded on, staying on the cutting edge of technology and how we can do more with less, is what it boils down to, and having a good process. And I found that you have that process in mind. From your side, it's how can I help companies like DBA achieve their goals with their customers. And I've watched you grow since we joined, and you are very much like-minded with us. As I have ideas, I throw them to you, and it's either that's a great one, or hey, guess what? We're already on that one.
That's great, David. So at a high level, how is your team using the S2Q system Speed to Quote product today? I mean, what does the day-to-day look like?
Day-to-day today, I have a couple of different groups using the platform, mainly our domestic group. We use the tool to quickly get the quote out. We love the template and, having transit times and everything there. So the customer is not coming back with an additional email saying, okay, how long does it take to get there? And, with the win-loss window, I'm not having to go look at this place, or that place. You have a snapshot for me to kind of figure out where is the sweet spot. I think our next step is how do I make my regions a little bit smaller so I zoom in a little bit tighter on that win-loss window.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And so when you mentioned your domestic team, is it the domestic sales team that is using the tool today?
It's not actually the sales team. It is our operations team,
Mm.
on the inside. So, we're all in sales at the end of the day. We are very much in touch. It's like myself. I talk to many customers, but I personally use the tool as I do a bulk of the quotes on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
So I'm teaching other people how to use the tool, how to understand everything, and so that I have a relief valve so I can take time out and have conversations with you.
That's great. That's great. And are you using the product to manage your employees, improve sales, or gain insight into any, analytics? It sounds like you are, but maybe if you could touch on that a bit.
Yeah, so, I know as I teach people, they have a tendency to go fast and they kind of skip over it. So I'm having to teach them to slow down. I personally have found that the win-loss data is a lot easier for me because, as I mentioned before, I used to have to keep that information in several different places, and I'd have to see the quote, be in the tool, go look at my reference data to see where we were. Now that, as it continues to improve, it's right in front of me. I know where I was in the last 7, 15, or 30 days, win or loss. So, really quick, if they're all in the loss column, we need to make some adjustments. But yeah, I do feel that, since we've been on the tool, it has really helped get the quotes out faster. And I did an analysis on it here a while back, and we do see using the tool and following the process, we do capture more quotes. So it is a plus, the reward
Mhm.
is there.
Got it. So by utilizing the tool and having your win-loss reporting automatically tracked, it's helped you make a little bit more quicker decisions on quotes than before.
Yes, for sure, by far. And it helps, because it databases it all too. So I don't have somebody having to record them all.
You're right. Right. Yeah. Manually recording of quotes or results is time consuming for sure. So what about the results from the product? So the reports that you're able to generate, what are you doing with that data today, outside of the win-loss reporting, or is it mainly about the win-loss reporting?
We actually do a full export every day of what we did for the day, and it is shared with the external sales team too. So they go through, they look, and we're all are looking at, of course, the ones we're looking at is the ones that are pending or lost, and make sure that we're all on the same page, because you got to have more wins than losses. That's the name of
Hmm.
the game. Being able to use the tool to identify trends, or the external sales team to follow up with the customers. I noticed we didn't win this one. What happened? Oh, that one
Hmm.
didn't ship. The customer fell through. Or, you know, you guys were a little bit high on that one.
Hmm.
There's every one of those out there, and it's a great communication tool to quickly share your day's work. Because I got 4 people on the street, and they're trying to look at quotes through the day as we do, but that snapshot, we do it twice a day actually, around lunchtime and again in the evening. So everybody knows where you're at, what's happening in the world.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. So it's really helped you to streamline communications internally around what activity is going on, but also just, what the market's doing and what's happening with your customer base.
Correct.
Got it. I think this kind of dovetails nicely into this next question is, how has, S2Q's product changed how you manage your team today?
So being able to put our hands on that data at a second's call, being able to share it twice a day versus we were manually recording it and reviewing it once a week the following Monday. By the time you get to that day, there's no chance of collecting anything that has happened. So I think, by utilizing the tool and the database and be able to export that data out and share it quickly via email, we're light years ahead of where we were. It's like we were dragging the stone wheel before.
You kind of touched on this a little bit, David, but how does S2Q assist you with your planning and or forecasting with the solution today?
Planning and forecasting, definitely as we're quoting and you see where you have been, what your trends were in the win loss, kind of helps you plan in the moment for those quotes, or, just having the data that we've exported, when you're talking to customers about something coming up, you can kind of forecast and say, you can look back and you're familiar with the trends that you've seen, because that's all we have. Everybody has history to predict the future. So just keeping in mind what those are, I do believe it's been extremely helpful. Again, just being able to share data so much faster than we did in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it. And so was there a situation where you were looking at other competitors before landing with S2Q? And were you using any other tools other than just manual tools before?
Really, they were all manual tools. It was conversations, with different people, and different products that led me to you. A friend of a friend of a friend, word of mouth got us together. And I told one guy, I said, I really wish there was a tool out there that could help me read this email and give an answer real quick. He said, I know the guy for you to talk to.
That's great. That's great. So prior, when you were doing it just manually, it sounds like you've been able to speed up the entire process and get more informed with your team. But is there anything else that you can think of that you have gained from the speed to quote platform that you couldn't do before, even manually?
Just being able to, utilize the tool. And as you've seen, I've got a lot of different vehicle types to help me slice and dice the information so that we have a much more detailed view than we did previous. Before, manually, you captured less data because it was so time consuming. You got the customer, the person that called it in, and pieces weight in a quote. Now we can get to really detailed information. Is it shipping today or not? Is it air, ground, cargo van, whatever it may be. The tool allows us to get that divided up quickly.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Switching gears a little bit, and since I'm on the call with you here right now, but what's been your customer experience been like with our product and our company, our team? Have we been helpful? Have been able to help problem solve? Just give us your all-around experience.
Yeah. So if we go back to the beginning, you've always been my direct contact. So it's cool. I'm at the top of the heap, talking to the man. And if we go back to the beginning, we started, and you and I had many conversations, and it just seems like through our relationship and us using the tool, your other customers started giving feedback. We've evolved, to really think about it, how far it's already came since we started a couple years ago. It's unbelievable the leaps and bounds we've made. And some of the stuff that we've talked about that you're very much interested in getting done for the future to
Mm-hmm.
continue help our needs. And any other questions, we pop it over to you in an email and you're back to us. You're either
Mm-hmm.
jumping on a Teams call or giving us an answer. So, as far as your company, you're very responsive. And I think that, again, is the type of partner that we want to have. You know, you want to grow, we want to grow, and at the end of the day, the tools to provide that ultimate customer satisfaction is what's going to get us both to the end of the race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Switching gears a little bit, David, let's talk a little bit about the industry as a whole. What do you currently see as issues in the transportation logistics industry today?
Today, the biggest hurdle that is out there is, we've come off of a big high where, customers were getting things done. And then as that turned into the new year, customers are grabbing those purse strings and trying to figure out how they can do more for less. So expedited type movements are being extremely scrutinized. So that's the biggest hurdle we've seen coming into 23 or 24 out of 23, is that, people are really watching their spend.
Mm-hmm.
There was several people that didn't make it, through the COVID years into 24. Time they got here, they couldn't hang any longer or whatever. But so there's a little capacity issues, and we've heard capacity in the industry for years and years and years. Hopefully it corrects itself, and we just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do changes in the market or transportation industry impact your work? What are outside factors that affect your work, and how does S2Q's product help you through some of these issues?
How will S2Q help in some of the issues? By using the win-loss data, lets us see the market trends. If you're not active every day in the moment doing the quote, like when we share it out, our management team and our sales team, we can all see, by the quote activity, the margin in the quotes, whether or not the customers are willing to spend that. Interest rates have a lot to do with how people spend money in transportation. Companies don't want to inventory a bunch of product, so it's just in time. It just, continues to cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of factors out there, and I don't know that I could put my finger on one thing. But in our business, I do see when the housing industry is booming, the floor covering industry is booming. When housing industry when and stuff is up, people are spending money. People are trade show shipments are up because companies are exhibiting, and we just need a nice level economy, without
Mm-hmm.
inflation. So companies are willing to spend money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if I'm hearing you right, is as things fluctuate, as markets change, our tool has really helped you adapt pretty quickly to any of those changes based on the data that you're seeing within the product.
Correct. Being able to share the data quickly and within the product, it allows us to make changes.
Mm, got it. Got it. So, David, is there anything else that we should know about your company?
Yeah, call us. We can help you move freight. Oh,
Anything else about working with S2Q Systems that you'd like to share?
anybody that is having to provide a quote as a partner, as a vendor, however that is, that receive quotes via email, they should get on board. They should try it because, I was a little skeptical at first, but, as it learns and, we help it, and it takes a lot of the work out of the email quotes. It tees it up there for us. The win-loss is there. So if you haven't tried it, they need to try it.
Well, thank you, David, for your time. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome, sir. It's a pleasure.